When is a machine not a machine? When is a machine not a machine?
Let him go. He has a gun. I can see that.
You're on my ship.
This ship, to be clear, is an object, not a location. It's a ball that got hit over the fence into the neighbor's yard. I'm the neighbor, so the ship belongs to me now.
You're a prodigy?
I work for Prodigy.
I don't talk to errand boys.
And which country are you king of again?
Are you the parent?
Excuse me?
These synths, they think they have parents. Are you the parent?
We're not here to talk about what I am, Mr. Morrow. I read the manifest. Chief of Security, sole survivor, cyborg. Lost a lot of friends, did you?
I don't have friends.
Everybody needs friends.
She won't let you have them. What's on this ship? She spent billions of people's lives. They belong to her.
If you're not careful, you're gonna belong to them.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Have you ever been in an institution? Cells.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
When you're not performing your duties, do they keep you in a little box? Cells.
This causes it. This causes it. This causes it. Information overload. All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves.
You are listening to the High Tech Low Life podcast, a cyberpunk media retrospective. High Tech Low Life contains language and themes not suitable for all audiences, as well as spoilers for the content being covered. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everybody, to the High Tech Low Life podcast with your hosts, Eric and Josh. I'm Eric.
I'm Josh.
This week, kind of off the cuff, I guess not any more off the cuff than usual, but kind of a last minute decision. We decided to cover a pretty recent television series called Alien Earth. And to do that, this was inspired in a conversation we were having on Discord with the great Colin from Astronomica podcast, and he joins us to talk about Alien Earth.
Hey guys, I'm great.
You are?
Yeah,
you are.
How are you guys? Yeah, right. It's a horrible question.
Yeah.
These days, it puts everyone on the fucking spot.
It really does.
Oh man, I went to a engagement / home / housewarming party last night and saw a bunch of people that, I see every couple of years, kind of friends of friends thing. And
yeah,
nearly every conversation began with, "So, how are you doing? What's going on with you?" And I'm like, believe me, I could get into it, but it's not, we're not going to have a fun evening.
Exactly right.
That's why humanity created the word fine.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm fine and dandy.
I'm okay, actually. I mean, I had a nice weekend. Weather's pretty great. I don't know. I guess could be worse.
Yeah. We've got that going for us right at this moment.
The fascist occupation of Memphis going. I know you guys have that going down there.
Oh, it's fucking it's really, really great, guys. Personally, as far as fascist occupations go, I got to give this a solid 3.5 stars. I don't have anything to follow that up with. It really sucks. I have not personally experienced it, but all the entire online Memphis onlineosphere is sharing, their experiences, and a lot of them are fairly horrific. And I mean, it's all in service of nothing It's achieving nothing. It's just, making fucking dipshits somewhere in this country happy, I guess. That's my only theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually met anyone that isn't paid to say it, that thinks it's cool, but I'm sure they exist out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know, have they managed to find and seize the Bass Pro skull yet?
Well, I don't know if they've got it yet, but I did see some dudes in like weird cultish regalia wandering around, like tapping sticks on walls and stuff. I think they're closing in on it.
Okay, yeah, I saw something about how they were deploying to the pyramid. Well, obviously they're after the skull. Why else would they go there?
Must protect it at all costs.
There was a meme that was like, 2025, I've been called in from the outer provinces to defend the pyramid at Memphis.
I saw that.
2025 AD, I have been called in from the outer provinces to defend the pyramid at Memphis. I mean,
yeah,
it's
Time
just
really is a flat circle, man.
did Stan share his are we calling Blue Sky posts skeets? Is that still a thing?
I am. It started ironic, but now I like it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. Did you read Stan's skeet on the occupation of Memphis?
I think I missed that one.
Oh, it was fucking great. Fortunately, it now is burned on my brain.
Let's hear it.
Soon Memphis will be so safe that even this pathetic crop of suburban pussies will be able to go to Olive Garden without shitting their pants, probably. It's like...
That's exactly it. I mean,
I'm just, that is really the fucking thing that I think would make it, even if there was nothing else, the thing that would make it impossible for me to be a conservative is I'm just not fucking scared of everything.
Yeah. It's, yeah, Eric and I have very similar experiences in Kansas City with people who live either in the, outlying super white suburbs or our, relatives and acquaintances from not the big city.
Yeah.
Where, like, I live in a mixed community in Kansas City and have for coming up on 25 years now. And according to what many people who live in the far suburbs think, like, there's no way that should be possible. I should have been shot dead multiple times.
Yeah.
I should have no possessions because I'm constantly getting robbed, and literally none of that has ever happened.
The neighborhoods that I've lived in Memphis have almost exclusively been really fucking dope, and they scare the shit out of, like, the Baptists out in Collierville. They're like, oh, that part of town is spooky.
Yeah.
And
if these people see someone who isn't white walking down the street, they assume they're in a war zone, and it's what it comes down to. And it's depressing, and they're missing out on cool neighborhoods. I would say,
yeah,
indeed they are.
Yeah.
And I would agree. Good neighborhoods, good food, good people, fun shit.
Exactly.
Great music.
The food, for God's sake. My neighborhood is incredible for food.
I bet.
And there are hordes of people who would be terrified to be anywhere near here during the dinner hour, once it starts getting dark early.
Yeah, man. Well, it's one of my favorite all-time quotes ever was from W.C. Fields, and it is, "Life is a banquet, and everywhere you look, some poor son of a bitch is starving to death." And I think that applies to so many people. They're denying themselves so much of life because they're afraid, or somebody told them it's bad, or just some other like bullshit reason to, live a truncated like fraction of a life. But so many fucking people do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're proud of it.
And they're proud of it. And that's the thing that's annoying. That's why you can't even greet it with pity. You're just like, hey, you know what? Fuck you.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you hopped right in, Colin, because we love to start our shows off as depressing as possible, talking about the dystopia we live in. And
hey, sure, absolutely. But let's recontextualize that conversation as not depressing, but instead a celebration of life. You know what? We're not scared.
Exactly.
We're out there living. We're eating good food and hearing dope music and doing fun shit because we don't scare for shit.
Yeah. Amen to that. That's true.
Absolutely.
And we're proud of it. So suck on it.
Yes. Which is why we might be a little insufferable. But
we're proud of it. Suck on it, cowards.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is dystopia talk. Josh, do you have anything else? Can you think of anything that happened this week that people will expect us to cover? I don't.
I don't know. My brain has been so scattered that.
Well, and the news comes at you so fast.
My retention is terrible. I can't think of anything. I'm sure there's at least. Oh, I guess Trump is hawking cheap watches now.
Yeah, that's
of course he is.
Whatever.
Yeah, which is.
Let's show some quick love to the Portland Frog Tifa. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Those guys, I mean, I'm a little afraid for them because watching any of a range of extremely likely horrific things happen to the Portland Frog Tifa would break my heart.
Same.
You know, I don't think I could listen to Rainbow Connection enough times to undo the damage that would
oh my god
fucking hit me if something happened to them.
Real quick, we do like to shout out other things we're watching. Although this week I pretty much was just watching this to catch up. But are any of you watching or listening to or reading some other thing you'd like to promote and get other eyes on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this show doesn't need my help, but and I'm not done. There's still a couple of episodes for it to go to shit, but so far season 2 of Peacemaker has been better than it has any right to be.
I agree completely.
Yeah. The season just ended this week and I finished it and I really liked the second season. And there were some it's that whole show is kind of like the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Yeah.
On, HBO.
Absolutely.
You watch them and you go man, there's no reason for this to be watchable would be fine.
Yeah.
But they're actually going for shit. They're trying stuff.
They are. Exactly. And they are not afraid to be just crass. You know, I think that the winning formula that DC has hit on is we're not having any luck being as, baseline, quote unquote, vanilla good
consistent
as Marvel was. Yeah, at their best. But we can be way more fun. And I mean, I feel like that was the thing about this most recent Superman movie is that I don't think it was the best Superman movie ever made, but it was the one I had the most fun with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
More than I had any expectation of doing because
hard agree.
Superman guy. I mean, he's
me neither.
So, but I broadly enjoyed it. I think what they really hit on was let's hire the guy who wrote Tromeo and Juliet.
And the rest was chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the topic of Peacemaker being crass, I agree with that. They do it well, but they don't take it to the Boys place where they're just doing shock shit for the sake of shock.
Yeah.
Which I also appreciate because they it's not as heavy handed, I guess, which is nice.
Yeah. I do enjoy The Boys.
Same, I do too.
I'm actually going to start Generation V tomorrow. I'm going to have every now and again Stan will do this thing where he's like, "You're not watching this show yet? Okay, come over.
Hmm.
And I'm going to watch that show with you and make sure that you watch it. So
Yeah.
I'll be starting Generation V tomorrow night.
It's a pretty good show. I have and part of this is undoubtedly, what we're in year 5 of The Boys.
Yeah.
I think, and I only watched the first season of Gen V sometime this spring, I think, and then have as the second season has been airing, I've been watching it, but it's got enough of a different flavor from The Boys that I don't feel quite as burnt out on. Yeah, okay, here's an exploding dick, and yeah, it's because at a certain point, The Boys is just it's a lot, and it's a lot kind of over and over again.
Okay. This is interesting because I agree, and y'all are the first ones I've ever heard say that. I have gotten through all of The Boys because it is good.
Yeah.
But it's never easy. It's not an effortless, I can't
true.
wait for the next one. It's like, okay, the next Boys is out. Okay, I can do this.
You got to amp yourself up for it.
Exactly. And I think that part of it is that in some ways, it is heavy-handed in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
but it's also, you feel kind of hopeless while you're watching it,
Yeah.
which might be good writing on their part. They've made
that's
me
what they're
believe. Yeah. It feels like the bad guys are winning, and it feels like there's no way that they can't. And that makes it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly a way you can do a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a high hurdle to clear to do a TV show like that goes on for, I don't know, 50 episodes or whatever, and keep people equally engaged throughout it. I really just keep hoping that, I'll see an announcement that, next season of The Boys is the last one. Because it needs, I don't know, it's, like I said, it's a lot. It's not too much necessarily, but it's a fucking lot, and it is. The show has a lot of repetitive elements where, we think we got this thing that's gonna kill Homelander. Oh, nope, doesn't work. Okay, back to square one. And
well, that British guy sure is mad.
Yeah. I think you mean Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, if we heard that the next season was going to be the last one, we've all had the experience of loving a show that went on too long.
Yeah.
And it goes on long enough that you can no longer say it's a good show.
Yeah.
And right now, even with all the criticisms that we've been making, which is valid, if they end it soon and they actually have a satisfying conclusion and it feels like the whole show leading up to that point served that, then The Boys, I think, will still be a very, very good show. And if someone said it's my favorite show, I'd be like, okay, I get it. It ain't mine, but I do see it as extremely quality.
A slightly odd choice, but okay. That's that's an acceptable answer in polite society.
I'm going to have to subtly cross-examine you to make sure you're not a complete insufferable edgelord, but I'm prepared.
Or a very dumb right-winger who doesn't understand the point of it.
Also that. But I think there's shows that get killed before their time, and there's shows that go on way too long. The shows that end just right are, those are the ones. Those are the diamonds.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think a show will do the smart thing of ending one season in a way that you're like, okay, I can stop right here. I don't have to. For me, The Mandalorian ended when Luke got Baby Yoda and Mando fucked off.
Yeah. That's the last one I watched.
Yeah, that's that was the
there's no need to watch any further. if you enjoyed it up to that point, congratulations. You're good.
I enjoyed it up
the
to 5
Mandalorian.
minutes before that point.
Yeah.
Because Luke ruined the series. Like seeing fake Uncanny Valley Luke ruined the Mandalorian for me in a way. But
that was gross. Agreed.
Yeah.
That was gross. But if we're just talking about narratively, if you can, like, for instance, just in your mind, slot in not weird Uncanny Valley Luke, just, normal Luke, then you can say that whole narrative was pretty good.
Josh, do you have
I do.
any more?
I do. It is a number one. I started and finished the new Mick Herron novel. Who is the guy who writes the novels that the TV show Slow Horses?
Oh, hell yeah!
Apple is based on. And the new novel it just came out, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so. I think it's called Clown Town, and it is very good and actually does some fun status quo shake-up changes towards the end. So I'm curious how that's gonna go.
Is this in the Slow Horses series of books?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, fuck yeah. All right.
Yeah, and that's a very good show, and it is currently in, I think, the 3rd or 4th season is currently airing, and it's, again, very good watching Gary Oldman, fart and
fart and cuss.
Blow his
fart
nose.
and cuss and drink.
Yeah.
I also have a recommendo for a movie I watched called Caught Stealing.
I've been watching the trailers for that, and it looks interesting.
Yeah, it came out in theaters fairly recently, and I was surprised to see it pop up on my favorite streaming site.
Yeah.
We're all familiar
Love
with
those
it.
streaming sites.
Yeah, quite so quickly, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I hear it's good. I hear it's one of the better movies of the year, and a year with some really good movies.
Yeah. It's, Austin Butler from Dunk 2, and I don't know what. Oh, he was
Matt Smith is in that, right?
Yes, Matt Smith is very fun.
Yeah. And Leaf Schreiber. Yeah, no, I saw the preview for that. I want to check it out. I didn't realize it had already come and gone from the theaters, but
yeah, and I didn't realize until I sat down and started watching it. I was like, this is ringing some bells. Like, oh yeah, this is based on a book that I read when it came out 25 years ago or something, and had just totally forgotten about. But also called Caught Stealing. Good book. The movie is very good. I think it's the most I've liked a Darren Aronofsky movie in, I don't know, maybe ever.
Okay, shit. Hell yeah. And
yeah, it's a very fun, real fun, very good performances. Definitely worth a watch.
I plan to. That's on my list. I like that Austin Butler. He's a handsome kid.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so far, a pretty good resume. He hasn't been in any shits that I can think of anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I can't. I don't know. I didn't see the Elvis movie. I hear
it was a bunch of wild swings that I kind of enjoyed, and was, it made a lot of choices. Why wouldn't you want to see Tom Hanks talking like Foghorn Leghorn for 3 hours?
Yeah. As a Memphian, they should have forced me to watch it, but I still haven't seen it.
Be in your school curriculum.
Exactly.
All right. Let's talk about Alien Earth. Welcome to Alien Earth.
Welcome to,
as Will Smith would say.
Yes. Okay. Well, this let's just get this right out of the way. Just right now. This series has no reason to exist. And I truly never thought it was going to happen, because it got announced in 2017, when Legion was still on the air.
Jesus. Yeah, shit.
And I literally thought, at the time I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then 5 years later, I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then suddenly it happened. It's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel
Go
Go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
That was Eric.
Oh.
I had a hard time getting into this show. Like the first couple, and it's interesting because I was just engaging with somebody on Blue Sky. I was skeeting on Sky. Chris Clue, the football player turned activist turned whatever he is.
Oh yeah.
Was talking about Alien Earth and how he can't get into it. He's watched 2 episodes and doesn't like it. And that's exactly how I felt. I almost bailed on the show. Josh convinced me to give it one more. And episode 3, it starts to get you.
Yeah.
And then it captures you pretty good. And then it kind of lets you down again in the end. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't struggled that much with the show in a while.
It has some real weird, and I don't mean that necessarily negatively. It has some very interesting pacing and structural narrative things going on, where I knew when you texted me about it, I was able to say, okay, the show changes totally like 45 minutes from where you are now.
Okay.
And then, because the first 2 episodes are chock-a-block fucking action, which I think was like a very considered choice. Like, I think that Noah Hawley, the creator, wanted to like draw in the cheap seats. Like, yeah, I just want, people who are like, oh man, it looks like cool sci-fi and I'm going to see fucking aliens killing a bunch of people. And he's like, here you go, delivered.
Yeah, he does deliver on that.
Absolutely.
And then it switches over to a very different show for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Where we're like, what's a people? Why are we capturing these creatures? What's up with this corporate stuff? Then it takes another turn where you're like, hey, what if we remade Alien 1978?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like just packed it down into an hour. And then it takes another turn. And we get another episode of like, what's it mean to be a people? And then
it becomes a Marvel movie.
And then, it goes back to a bunch of action stuff. It's really interesting in terms of just because, I mean, it felt weird when I was watching it the first time, week to week. And then this second watch earlier this week, I was just thinking like, man, what a strange, there's like kind of a coherent thread of an idea through it, but it is presented and addressed in such weird ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it is very tough for me to sit here and go, sure, this should have been a big hit, or it's obvious this was going to be a big hit, because what the fuck? It's a real weird way to do a TV show, man.
Yeah. It was very difficult, perhaps impossible to predict what was going to happen episode to episode. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Also, so many like directorial and cinematography choices that were like, I don't have a problem with Artie. I'm as pretentious as the next guy. But like, it was really weird to see this kind of like art house cinematography stuff in this like sci-fi show where people are getting like mauled and ripped apart by aliens. You see a lot of this like stuff where they're messing around with like time and flashbacks where they'll like do split screens and stuff, or they'll gray out someone's head and there'll be a little like vignette of like they were singing a song or something that when they were kids. Also the reference to Ice Age, out of nowhere.
They were making good use of that Disney catalog.
They were.
That was really fucking weird because I saw that movie when it was on DVD because one of Eric and I's friends bought the DVD for some reason. I think maybe just because it had John Leguizamo in it.
Yeah.
But And it is literally, I have not given that movie even 5 seconds of thought in the 25 years since it came out. So it was very odd to see this, like it, and it took me a while when it was on the screen to figure out, oh, what was that? Was that a commercial? Oh no, that was the movie with John Leguizamo plays like a lemur or something. Oh, okay. It was really weird to see that as presented as one of the surviving major cultural artifacts of the turn of the 20th century. That and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball. Yeah. Well,
can I tell you my biggest problem with the show?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll just shut the fuck up and edit. No. It was, and I don't know what you call it, it's a lack of attention to detail in writing or directing or something. But there are so many little things that happen and that people do that aren't the way things would ever happen.
Ooh.
If people, if entities were existing in this situation, and it really got on my nerves. Like you can suspend disbelief for a couple of them, but when it just keeps happening over and over. And I'll get into examples as we go through.
Can I guess what one of your examples will be?
Sure.
The French Revolution party in the building that had a spaceship crash into it.
I didn't write that down, but yes, absolutely. I did think about that as I watched it this time.
Yeah. It's okay. Look, I am here for critiques of the idiot fucking moneyed ruling class, but
Amen.
that was a bridge too far for me. I'm like, okay, nobody is dumb enough to knock it out of the building a spaceship crashed into.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
something about that party did make my notes. If we want to jump ahead, and this is a pretty good example of what I'm talking about, I think. In that movie, or in that scene, the alien kills 25 people in 30 seconds, and then lingers over the character with plot armor drooling into his face for like 45 fucking seconds. And it just why did the alien pause on this guy? That shit happens over and over. And I know
there
it's
was
a TV show. They have to build tension.
Yeah, there was a ton of that.
Absolutely.
I did not believe that anybody was ever in danger, because that alien, I knew he was going to, for some reason, though he can kill 20 people in a half a second, he's going to linger when he gets to the important character, and that character is going to get saved somehow. Because it happens so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's this thing where we all understand that there are some characters that have plot armor. There's some characters that are like protagonists or sub-protagonists.
Yeah, we know
But you got to be better at concealing that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if you're making people have the reaction that you had, Josh, then that is definitely a failure. And I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's there are certainly problems with it. I mean, the show, I think it was good overall, but
agreed.
Definitely,
I do too.
Yeah. Okay, so
I wouldn't have watched it twice if I didn't.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. So in the future, the race for immortality will come in 3 guises: cybernetically enhanced humans, cyborgs; artificially intelligent beings, synths; and synthetic beings downloaded with human consciousness, hybrids. Which technology prevails will determine what corporation rules the universe.
Question 1.
This is a weird way to introduce a show about those big bug aliens with acid blood, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. Sounds more like the way to introduce Blade Runner.
Yeah,
well,
you think.
I mean, the thing about it is, I feel like the first part of the first episode of this show has some of the most robust world building we've seen in the entire franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the thing where he's talking to the kid, he's like, okay, Wayland Yutani, they control North and South America. I didn't fucking know that. I've known Wayland Yutani since I was a kid, but I didn't know that that was what they did. But then there's also things about it that are maddeningly non-specific. Like the quote you just read. which technology prevails will determine which company controls the universe. Well, okay, clearly Prodigy is hybrids, and so is Wayland Yutani cyborgs? Because they do have a cyborg working for them, but nothing in 40 years of watching alien shit have made me think that Wayland Yutani was, we're the guys that do cybernetics.
Yeah, if anything, the implication through most of the movies, if there was any indication, was that Wayland Yutani was the one who did synths. Because
absolutely,
Wayland is the only corporation in like all the movies, and they always have a fucking synth around, including if you really want to get fucking deep in the weeds, the cut scene from the end of Alien 3 where Lance Henriksen shows up, and he is actually Charles Wayland or something, and it turns out that Bishop from Alien 2 was a synth modeled on him.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, buy the Alien Quadrilogy DVD box set in 2003 and watch it all, and you'll learn all sorts of things.
I'm going to do everything you just said.
Yeah.
I'm going to transcend time and space.
Where I should remind the audience that I've only seen Alien Resurrection.
Oh yeah,
besides
that's
this.
True. Yeah.
No shit. Okay. Yeah.
And also the new one that came out a couple of years ago. I watched that too.
Romulus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
So I got no real backstory other than what has just become pop culture.
Yeah, and you're fine.
Common knowledge.
You've seen Spaceballs, right?
I've seen Spaceballs.
So you know how the first one goes.
Oh yeah. Also, if you're wondering what all the 1970s haircuts are about, well,
Huh. But, I love the retrofuturism of this show, by the way. I thought they did a great job. All the sets looked really fucking cool.
Yeah.
It felt like the future, but also like the past. Like they did a great job with that, in my opinion.
Especially the fifth episode, where it's just the Maginot stuff, because that is, I mean, it's honestly just so much of it is directly ripped off of the first Alien movie. Like it's,
oh yeah.
I mean, that whole thing might as well have been cut scenes from Alien.
Yeah.
Just because like every set is exactly the same. All the clothes are the same.
Yep.
And on the one hand, it's a ripoff. On the other hand, fuck, I'm here for it, man. Watching people smoking in a fucking spaceship.
It's not a ripoff. It is continuity. It's well managed continuity of the franchise and the brand.
No, that's a good way of putting it. Actually, I didn't think of it that way, because if you want to remain in continuity with the original movie, then shit has to look like the original movie. So
by the way, and
they got to smoke.
In relation to the original movie, this takes place 2 years before that movie takes place.
Okay.
So I didn't know that.
Take that for what it's worth. I'm sure there are people who have done obsessive thinking about that.
I'm sure there are.
I simply find it like, well, that's an interesting choice, because that movie technically has zero, like almost no bearing on this at all. Oh, well, whatever.
Let's get into our episode by episode breakdown. We're doing it a little different this time because we don't want to spend 8 episodes talking about this show. So we're just going to kind of read a synopsis and then talk about our thoughts on each episode, and hopefully, spend 10 minutes per ep and get out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, certainly. So, and these episode summaries are sourced from Wikipedia. Company? No.
Wikipedia Corp?
Yeah, Wikipedia Corp. An organization that I donate a minimal amount of money to, so I don't feel bad for doing shit like this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
Elon's going to put his own out, and it's going to be so much better.
Oh, yeah, so great. So, episode 1, titled Neverland. In 2120, 5 companies control Earth and the colonized solar system, including the recently founded Prodigy Corporation. The U.S. CSS Maginot, a Weyland-Yutani deep space research vessel, approaches Earth after a 65-year expedition to obtain extraterrestrial specimens, among them facehuggers. Dun, 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 dun. On Earth, at Prodigy's Neverland Research Island, Marcy Hermit, a terminally ill child, becomes the first hybrid, having her consciousness transferred to an adult synthetic, and renames herself Wendy. Adjusting to her new body with the assistance of synthetic mentor Kirsch, Wendy oversees several other children who undergo the procedure. A malfunction compromises the Maginot's navigation, placing it on a collision course with Earth. Some specimens escape, and a grown xenomorph kills most of the crew. It crashes into a tower on the Prodigy city of New Siam, where Wendy's human brother Joe works as a medic and corporate soldier. CEO, exhausted sigh, Boy Cavalier, asserts the Maginot's contents now belong to Prodigy and deploys Kirsch and the hybrids on Wendy's request to assist with the search and rescue to test the hybrids' capabilities. Security Officer Morrow, who survived the crash in a reinforced panic room, moves to protect the cargo and detains 2 Prodigy soldiers, who are killed by a leech-like specimen. Wendy remarks to Kirsch that Wendy wants to save Joe from death. That's it.
That's pretty much the episode.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Colin.
Well, I was going to say that episode 1 seems like as good a place as any to talk about something that I feel like this show did extremely right.
Okay.
Fucking great casting across the board. Everybody, I feel like there could be very few complaints with the actors in this show.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a bad one, and I can't really.
My only casting related complaint, which is more of a hair and makeup related complaint, is the fact that Boy Cavalier and Joe, Wendy's brother, look pretty similar at a glance.
Okay, yeah, I get you on that.
And like, if there had been some difference, it would have really helped as I'm sitting here taking notes and looking down at my computer or eating dinner and watching the show, because every once in a while you cut from a scene with Wendy talking to Boy Cavalier to a scene with Wendy talking to Joe, and you glanced away at the wrong time and you're like, wait, this took a weird turn. Oh, that's the other dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I see the resemblance, but I did not have that issue at all.
Yeah, it's kind of almost in profile, except it's not like in silhouette. How about that?
Yeah.
In silhouette, they are quite similar, and like, hair color and hair shape and stuff. But other than that, yeah, you're absolutely right.
It feels like really half-assed, and I apologize, to be like praising someone's performance and not have the common fucking courtesy to have learned their name before I did it. But the actor playing Boy Cavalier, I hated him from like before he even did anything wrong. I was like, this person fucking sucks. And
Samuel Blanken is his name.
Yeah.
Samuel Blanken, well done. You method acted the shit out of that character. Like, you conveyed that person's soul. I did not from the jump. I was like, no, this person is not good times.
Yeah, I enjoyed him a lot as a antagonist for sure.
Yeah, I wanted him dead from minute 1, and that did not change for the entire show.
I definitely want him to live, because I like it when the really annoying ones will live.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to be happy either way, to be honest. I can see it both ways. This has been remarked on in other places, but this is a hard agree. Timothy Oliphant is having a whale of a time, and looking good doing it. Essie Davis is so fucking great. And Josh, as you pointed out online, it is so cool to see Vivian again.
Yes. Yes, Viv Savage from The Young Ones plays Adrian Edmondson is the actor. Plays is it Adam? Adam Ein, the lawyer slash
factotum kind of
slash surrogate dad, I think. Maybe the implication.
I think that maybe.
And when I saw him on screen, I was like, Viv.
Yeah. So, question about that, because were you supposed to know that he was a synthetic from the jump, or was that supposed to be a surprise reveal?
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a surprise.
Okay.
Was it?
I mean, I
They never really gave it a big reveal.
No.
They just kind of let it be known eventually.
well,
I
I kind of think the big reveal part was the pause, in the fight.
oh okay, yeah, I guess that was.
Yeah, I think on my second watch, for the show, there were a few like light, kind of context hints that, oh, he's not a normal guy, but there's absolutely nothing, there's nothing even vaguely concrete before that last episode.
Well, the same thing kind of goes for Timothy Oliphant's character, other
Yeah.
than his weird look and general demeanor. They never really call that out specifically until a certain point pretty deep in the series.
I swear to God, they did in like the first episode.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? Did I miss that?
Yeah, they did. That, basically, it's easy to miss because they sort of reveal it in a conversation between Boy Cavalier and Dame Sylvia. It's the one where he's being super fucking obnoxious and being like, "Oh, I just want to have a conversation with someone who's smarter than me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What about Kirsch?" And he's like, "He's machine smart. He has all the knowledge and the ability to cross-reference it." And I took that even on first watching as them saying, "Okay, this is an android."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see why I missed that though. That's
exactly. It's
not explicit.
Yeah, it's kind of, you have to be almost looking for it, which I kind of was, because I already knew there was something weird going on with Timothy Oliphant's character.
You think there was something weird with Timothy Oliphant's bleached eyebrows?
Yes.
Can I saw a Blue Skeet about it, saying that he was giving his best Batu from Ghost in the Shell anime, which with a picture of him up, and yes, he very much is giving Batu from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A cross between Batu and Roy Batty from Blade Runner. And I really liked him. And also at the same time, the Moro character played by, what is his name? Babu Sise? Yeah. I really dug that guy. I want him. I want him to be
absolutely
a huge star.
He was obviously the one I cared about the most in the show. Also, we haven't pointed out, we haven't talked about the fact, and this turned a lot of people off from what I've been reading online. The adults playing kids thing. A lot of people don't like that.
I don't.
They did it very well.
Yeah, me too.
I did too. I think a lot of people feel, maybe I just feel this way, that it is a way of putting kids in danger that you would not be comfortable watching in under normal circumstances. But since they're in adult bodies, it's more acceptable, but still has the gravitas of a kid being in danger, if that makes sense.
I can see that reading.
Yeah.
I don't.
The kid who played, or the kid, he's not a kid. The guy who played Smee, Jonathan Ajayi, was so fucking believable.
Yeah.
I wanted to protect that guy, and he's a full-grown adult who could beat my ass.
Yeah.
I can see that reading. That never crossed my mind.
Same.
I really think all the performances I really think all those performances were absolutely great. As somebody who has a fairly vast selection of younger, fairly younger nieces, nephews, cousins, etc. Boy, all of those people were doing, all those actors were doing very good jobs of portraying slightly different versions of 10 to 14-year-olds or 10 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like I've seen,
they mentioned 1.12 was the oldest.
Yeah, I've seen kids almost exactly like every one of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought they did great too. I saw a lot of people complaining about it and saying how they also hated it, and some people made references to The Fifth Element but But in that one, she was obviously sexualized, and there's
Yeah.
none of that in this, thankfully.
No, absolutely. I mean, fortunately, I don't give a shit about kids. So I was just like,
Fuck them kids.
feed them to monsters, don't feed them to monsters, whatever. This is great acting. That's impressive. But
I don't know, man. When Toodles gets his, I felt pretty upset by it.
I did actually.
They couldn't do that
yeah.
with a even like with a child replicant.
Mhm.
That would be way more disturbing than it was with a grown up. But
Yeah. Joking aside, that was rough because well, that was the other thing is that like I feel like a lot of care was taken to give each of them kind of distinct personalities, and then the actors really sold it, and yeah, that
given
kind
their
of
limited
hurt.
time, I think they did a good job with
Absolutely.
differentiating all these kids. Do we have anything specific we want to say about episode 1? I'm looking through my notes here. Oh, one of the many things that bothered me as Morrow was like walking through the ship. He's got this bionic arm that's badass. It's got a blowtorch. It's got a knife. He's holding a flashlight with the arm. My phone has a flashlight. Put a flashlight in the bionic arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I felt like this was either like a big, huge, glaring writing oversight, or they expanded android lore in some ways that are kind of interesting. Like during the flashback to before shit hits the fan on the Maginot, the captain threatens to withhold the android's pay, and I was like, androids get paid? I mean, cool, but I wouldn't have anticipated that.
That's actually an interesting question because that comes up in Alien in relation to Rook's pay, played by Ian Holm, but also they didn't know he was an android, if I remember right. So that's interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, but that's the other thing is that like everyone definitely knew that Fang was an android. And they were definitely creeped out by him.
That was a hilarious performance. What a weird dude.
Extremely weird dude. Also, an android having a monomaniacal obsession with a member of the crew. What is this? Astronomica?
Yeah.
But that was that. I found that very interesting.
Can I be honest real quick? I had no fucking idea Fang was an android. Are you guys telling me that Fang, the creepy guy on the ship, was an android? How did I miss that?
Yeah.
At what point do they say that?
Like in the, 2 minutes after the show begins, when they're talking about, we know he's the navigation, he's the navigator, and they're in like is it in the dining room area where they're having a conversation, and they're like, we know you don't have to sleep, but don't fucking stare or whatever.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and Morrow's like, I know what you've been doing, you creep.
I couldn't figure out why he was so weird, but that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
one thing that was also really interesting about Morrow, and like sort of I think sheds an interesting light on like the world and the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, is that like, in the org chart, he would probably be listed as like, a mid-ranking officer on that ship. He's the security guy. But he also seems to have this sort of like political officer dimension to his job.
Yeah.
Like he's there to like be security, but also to like enforce company policy. And
his position was very interesting, and I think would be even more interesting in a full-length movie that took place on the Maginot. He's in charge. Like if he's got the ability to take charge whenever he wants, and he represents the interests of the company, he is the gun that the hand is holding, pointing at everybody, basically. So
absolutely.
I think, this is a lot of my, kind of imagined, like, okay, imagining what would make sense to make, backstory wise, to make the story make sense. Once we find out that he was directly associated with and directly employed by, 2 Utanis ago.
Yeah.
That makes it kind of make sense, where this was a very important mission to the Utanis, not just the company.
Yeah.
And they stuck their handpicked dude in charge of making it go well.
Yeah.
So, that's the type of thing where...
and it hired the most inept motherfuckers. We'll get to it in that episode. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only one that isn't a complete moron, but sorry.
I don't know. I thought Shmuel was fairly, he was a fairly smart guy.
Which one was he?
He was the Northern English engineer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was all right.
Yeah. Everybody else,
exactly.
Everybody else was insane and dumb.
Yeah.
I had a problem,
including the very pretty girl from Never Have I Ever.
Oh yeah. Yep. Insane and or incompetent. But Shmuel had a certain hard-headed practicality that is very easy to respect.
Yeah. And
so,
the doctor. The doctor was pretty smart too.
Yeah. He was
the one that was smoking while doing surgery.
Yeah. As you
yes.
do.
No, you don't. Unless you're in fucking MASH.
So this might be getting a little bit back close to child murder, but I did have some questions about the process whereby the hybrids are made. Like, do we assume that the process in some way kills the kid's physical body, or is it like it transfers the kid's consciousness into the android body and then the body's just sort of empty, but then they have to take like a captive bolt gun or something and like finish the job? I mean, it's
who's got that job? That's
no country for old men, those poor kids.
Yeah, no, it's just like I did feel like there was
morbid thing.
I know and I hate that that's where my mind went, but I'm like, okay, unless this process by some way actively kills the old body,
yeah,
and I don't see why it would, that old body is still there. And like copying the consciousness there's transferring the consciousness or there's copying the consciousness, in which case, like, unless they wait for that kid to be like at the point of the kid's natural death before they like fire up the like switcheroo engine, there's some definitely like fucked up shit happening off screen.
I think that is an interesting and good question, and they do kind of address it
later on.
I'm looking for the quotes. I think it might be episode 4.
Is it the best case, worst case quote?
It's where Joe is talking to Adam, I think. Let me see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so Joe says, "Did you really download my sister's consciousness into that body? Is that her?" And then Viv Savage replies, "Those are 2 different questions. One is practical, and the other, well, that's the real essential crux. And I should add the difference between a $1 trillion business and a blanket with sleeves."
Yeah.
So the show is aware of that question. It chooses not to answer it at all.
Right. And at some point, Arthur says, best case scenario, we've got a bunch of AIs walking around thinking they're kids. Mm-hmm. Worst case, we just killed 6 kids.
Yeah. Is this which version of The Prestige is this?
Exactly.
In my
Yeah.
In my canon, I think something they're trying to point out with these various conversations is that much like if you've heard of people talking about teleportation, where if they were to ever come up with it, you would basically die, and then it's a new version of yourself would be constructed, so you would fully experience death. I think those kids, as they existed in those bodies, fully died and are gone. Mm-hmm. And what is left is just a construct with their memories and mannerisms. So
yeah,
I don't think they actually saved the kids at all.
And that goes to that goes to one of my favorite things to talk about on this show. What makes a person? Both in the general, in terms of, is Kirsch a person or is he a computer? I mean, is he a computer? That's also a person. And in the specific, what makes Wendy a person? Is she just like Kirsch, but with some weird programming? Or is she somehow the direct remnants of that dead 12-year-old?
Yeah.
The show loves to pose that question
and then give you about answering it all.
Yeah, and give you really actually conflicting, confusing information as to what the answer might be.
Have either of y'all ever read Old Man's War?
Yes, years and years ago. John Scalzi?
Yeah, exactly. They do a similar thing in that book where they transfer consciousness from an old body to a new body. Difference is that in Old Man's War, it is an organic body, just younger and with some modifications. But in Old Man's War, the way they do it is they set the old body and the new body up to be looking at each other while they do the transfer process. And so basically there's a brief period where the consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, is occupying both bodies. They're seeing each other, and that's when they cut the cord, which was a pretty good way of satisfying the, okay, is it really the same person thing? Because there's a continuity to the transfer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I do feel like everybody reads everybody. These shows are written by teams of writers. That was a way they could have handled it. And I'm sure that there's obviously always a fear of plagiarizing or ripping off, but that's a way that they could have handled it to answer a lot of questions. And the fact that they didn't kind of makes me go, well, okay, they want these questions to be unanswered.
Yeah.
They want us all to be speculating on the nature of what it means to be a people, and good for them, because I definitely thought about it.
Well, that's also what puts it as something that we should cover on this show, other than just a monster movie.
Yeah.
Which is what it really is.
For 5 of the 8 episodes, it is mostly a monster movie.
Oh yeah.
I will say one last thing I wanted to point out before we push on to episode 2 is, since you brought it up, the transition, the way they did the transition into the new bodies seemed really lame to me. They didn't put a lot. It was a table with a strobe light underneath. They didn't.
Yeah.
They could have done more there, I feel like.
Yeah, but
I agree.
They were holding a flower.
Yeah, and they had a Peter Pan,
and
once again.
I thought
making use of that back catalog.
I agree with you that was a kind of lame and very pedestrian. What we saw of the process was kind of lame and pedestrian.
I've seen Looney Tunes where brain swaps are more interesting.
Yeah, we got a robot body on our table next to a sick kid, and then the kid wakes up. Oh, and the table glows a little bit. Big deal.
Yeah.
But I do think the montage of
that was
swapping
good. Yeah.
was very good and cool looking.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I just wanted to be clear that the montage was good. You were absolutely right, though. The set dressing in that scene was what the fuck ever.
Kind of weak.
Yeah.
Do we have time for one more dumb thing that I hated?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
Always.
Okay. So Hermit and Siberian and Rashidi, they're meeting at this rooftop terrace gym.
Mm-hmm. Pumping up.
God, this is minor, and I feel like such a dumbass.
No,
piece of
I've
shit
got
for
so
even
many of
bringing
these
it up.
in my list.
But the spaceship fucking knocks off the top of their building. Everyone's fine.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's one of the many, many, many things I'm talking about.
Everyone's fine.
Completely.
Yeah.
And then the spaceship lands perfectly vertical and never shifts from any position, so that they can walk through it like a normal spaceship without it having to be landing at an angle or on its top or on its side.
It was at an angle, but not a very big one.
Not when you went inside.
Yeah, they definitely weren't walking most of the time like there was any kind of issue.
Another really pedantic thing I had, so even more minor, than that is when the two soldiers are tied up back to back, one of which I believe is the Thai dude from White Lotus. Yeah. Love seeing him get more work. And the leech bugs are crawling on their faces. They stay perfectly still so that the CGI can move across their face. Unlike me, if I had a bug on my face, I'd be shaking my fucking head back and forth and banging my helmet against the pipe.
Absolutely, you would. Yep.
It's stuff like that happens over and over and over. Then it takes me out of the world. Is my complaint, and I'm going to keep bringing them up. I don't care. I'm going to do it. I wrote a bunch of them down.
Oh shit!
And I am here. I am fucking primed to agree with every single fucking one of them. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do episode 2, Josh. That was more than 10 minutes.
Okay, well, it was episode 1. We had to go longer than.
True.
Uh-oh, where's that page? There it is. Okay.
You want me to read it? I got it up.
Mr. October. Boy Cavalier tells Dame Sylvia, the Babadook, that he formed the Hybrid Project to allow humanity to compete with artificial intelligence, and has granted Wendy additional abilities as Cavalier wishes to create a person smarter than he. Cavalier declines Wayland Yutani's request to secure the Maginot's proprietary contents, warning that any incursion on Prodigy's territory will be considered a hostile act. Joe is chased by a xenomorph and separated from his colleagues. The xenomorph tracks Joe to the higher floors of the tower, killing another soldier and massacring an apartment of wealthy residents who did not evacuate. Joe is saved by Morrow, who tasers Joe and the xenomorph. But the xenomorph regains consciousness and escapes after killing numerous other soldiers, sparing Morrow. Arriving in New Siam, hybrids Toodles, Smee, Nibs, and Curly encounter other extraterrestrial specimens. Wendy locates Joe along with Slightly, but Joe does not recognize Wendy. Slightly reveals Wendy's true identity to a shocked Joe, who believed Wendy/Marcy had died. The three encounter several xenomorph eggs and are ordered by Kirsch to contain them until a hazmat team arrives. Joe is dragged away by the xenomorph, and Wendy chases after it. Bum.
Nailed it.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. My first complaint on this is, why so many sparks? Sparks everywhere.
Yes, people were definitely grinding on metal as though they were just off camera in an early to mid 1990s industrial metal music video.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
So.
You know, which basically it's one of those things that it's lazy.
You'd think some of
they
those
can get away with it. Yeah.
For a while, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. They do it because they know they can get away with it. Except they can't, because here we are calling them on that shit.
Yeah, it's
burning them down.
It's cheap production value is the real answer. Like you throw some sparks at something in a dark corner, and that makes it seem like there's a lot more going on in that corner than a couple of black painted walls. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
They just really overdid it.
Yeah.
These first 2 episodes, they went really crazy with the sparks.
Yeah.
Much like in episode 5, they go crazy with the fog.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I'm not really faulting them for that. I just thought it was funny.
It is.
So one of the things that I really want to note on this episode, which was, I think, the biggest surprise of the entire show to me, was the fact that 3, maybe at most 4 minutes after Wendy runs into Joe, the secret that Wendy is actually Marcy gets revealed. I was 100% prepared for that to be late episode 7 reveal.
Yeah.
That I assumed they're just going to drag this out and it's going to get so fucking exhausting. And I am so happy they didn't. I really expected a Surf Dracula scenario.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Slightly is one of the heroes of this show. Like he does so much work.
Absolutely.
As moving the plot along, and he does a great job of doing it. I agree completely. I was not wanting that game to be played, and they didn't play it.
Hard agree.
Yeah. At the end.
Speaking of Slightly, question. Okay, so early on, Kirsch separates out Slightly, and he says, "You go with Wendy."
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think Kirsch picked Slightly?
That's an
I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
I mean, I was like, I feel like Kirsch sees Slightly as the most expendable.
Well, he's certainly the most kind of, well, to some extent, he's certainly the most kind of childlike of
Yes.
them, or at least he has a bunch of the really childish behaviors.
I think Smee's got him beat still, but they are
But also
BFFs for a reason.
They're neck and neck, yeah.
So just just looking at him from, any kind of distance, you look at him and you go, yeah, Smee, he can survive. He'll be fine. Well,
that's true.
yeah.
Smee's a big
well,
dude.
Slightly is fairly slight.
Yeah.
I could see him being like, well, if we lose that one,
Yeah, you're not wrong. That very well could have been Kirsch's motivation, and Kirsch's motivations are a very interesting topic on this show.
Yeah, something I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
we'll cover. Let's see. This is the episode where the alien
Eats all the French people.
Yeah, and then spends 2 minutes staring at the main character with plot armor.
Yeah.
One I had just really bothered me, and it involves Slightly. I don't remember why exactly but they're in a place where blood is dripping down on the ceiling onto his face.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so he, rather than, the reason I thought of this is because it was raining that day and I was outside and there was a gutter with a break in it and it was dripping on me, and I would jump out of the way to avoid having water drip on my face.
Yeah.
Motherfucker looks up slowly, mouth agape, at this goo dripping out of the ceiling on his face. And it's another thing. It's like, nobody does that. That is not how a human or a synth with a human brain reacts to something dripping
That's
on them.
music magic, baby.
I know, and I hate it. Maybe it's fine in a movie that's 2 hours long, but when it has to happen in 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever it is, worth of show, it starts to be like, this is silly.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. Then the show certainly had a lot of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Another thing from the beginning of this episode is once they're entering the building, the mercenaries, the orders are to triage rescue by income bracket, which I was like, yeah, there's some cyberpunk dystopia right there.
Fucking A, man.
There's some
also
2025 America dystopia right there.
Well, one thing that was kind of funny, we've already mentioned the kind of retrofuturism of the show. So there's the brief flashback where you see Joe trying to get out of his contract so that he can go to medical school, and he has to go to a place and walk up to a window where a robot tells him no. And I'm like, we're already more technologically advanced than that. We can have a robot tell you no from the comfort of your own home.
True.
Any number of AI assistants, they might not exactly tell you no, but they fucking fail to help you in any meaningful way.
Believe me, my experience over the course of the last 3 days in dealing with credit bureaus and cell phone companies, you are exactly right.
Yep. It's kind of fucking interesting.
Another complaint I had, and maybe you guys can come up with an explanation for this, being more familiar with the alien world, but they repeatedly say it's a search and rescue mission. It's mentioned multiple times, and they go into every room, guns drawn. And maybe it's the future. Maybe they were expecting hostile creatures, but I don't see any reason that, like, if there was a plane crash, they wouldn't send in troopers with guns drawn first. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah,
that
absolutely.
That kind of bothered me.
I guess I would say that this is categorically a different kind of plane. This would be like if I don't know. I don't know enough about fucking military transport planes. Like, okay, how about if it was a boat crash? If a Russian destroyer suddenly ran aground in New York, I think people would be going like,
Yeah.
Okay, the fact that that hadn't occurred to me, that it's a rival corporation.
Yeah. Well,
I wish
also,
they'd stated that explicitly, because it just looks like they're bringing guns to a Band-Aid fight. But,
well, I think they did state it explicitly, but it's not.
well, as we've made clear, was not paying
Apparently
attention.
not, yeah.
Well,
Because when the
question.
crash is first reported, it's Sir, talking to Boy Cavalier, there's a Wayland-Yutani ship that has crashed into New Siam.
Well, I knew that, but I mean, they didn't state that that's why they were like, oh, there could be soldiers on that, so we need to be ready to fight.
Okay.
Well, so I have a question. Like, clearly, the goal here is we're going to cover the whole show. So we're not really worried about spoilers for the episodes we haven't covered yet, right?
Absolutely not good.
No.
Okay. So, well, then in that case, I also feel like we can say that maybe certain things are happening the way they do. Like, for instance, in the last episode, we brought up the seemingly kind of improbable way in which the ship crashed. But, from future episodes, we know that actually that was an act of sabotage by,
True.
an engineer aboard the Maginot. So it could be more like a landing disguised as a crash.
I actually on the second watch this week, I actually put some thought into that, and that I totally believe that somebody writing the show could have had that in mind. I mean, the reality of the issue is that would be a real impressive bit of astrodynamics and physics for that engineer to put together. But
absolutely,
I do totally believe that a writer on this show might have thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So,
And so as far as the search and rescue team seeming kind of incongruous, like why are we armed to the teeth and everything? Well, we can also say that maybe, they received orders that seemed kind of strange because, Boy Cavalier knows what crashed. He knows it's like an alien menagerie of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
But and I might be like bending way over to like putting my head between my own legs to like make excuses for what is maybe even more likely like sloppy, writing. But it's a possibility, so I'll just bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you back, Colin?
Oh, I am. Did I cut out?
Yeah, you dropped.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But we got you putting your head between your legs part. So
you're gonna love what happens after that. Okay, guys. So here's no. But I was gonna say I was just saying I might be making a lot of excuses for what is really, really Occam's razor, just sloppy writing. But it's a possibility, so I'll bring it up.
Yeah,
I think it is sloppy writing, and because we do see all of their orders. Like they're in the plane, he's saying it's a standard search and rescue mission, blah 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 blah. We see the plane fly over their heads and they immediately grab their gear and go. So they weren't like, briefed ahead of time. So, but yeah, there's a lot of mental gymnastics we can do to make it fit. It's not the biggest complaint in the world. What was a big complaint to me, once again, as they're all running in, Joe's the medic. He walks past a guy that's on fire.
Huh.
A medic would help a guy that's on fire.
Yes, absolutely.
That bothered me.
Yep, it's an inconsistency and a fairly noticeable one.
Oh, one more thing about the very end of the first episode that I forgot and is in my notes. So the very end of the first episode is the mercenaries rolling out to get to the crash, right? They're in their big APC thing, and Mob Rules by Black Sabbath plays. And this show has a lot of needle drops. Some of them I liked quite a bit. Others
absolutely.
I was less excited about. I enjoyed the Mob Rules needle drop. The reason that I bring that one up specifically is because this episode dropped, I don't know, a week or maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after Ozzy died. And Mob Rules is a Dio era Sabbath song. Yeah. And I read a fucking review somewhere and I looked for it and I can't find it. I wonder if the review I read has been edited because it seemed so insane. A review I read said, it seems kind of insulting to use this Dio era Sabbath song when Ozzy has just died.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on.
I was like, man, look, I know I'm too online, but you gotta calm
gotta
down,
chill, brother.
You gotta cool it.
Just come on, guys.
You're gonna complain about mob rules? Like what? That's a very good song. What? And you're a TV reviewer. You know for a fact this episode has been wrapped for probably a year.
Yeah.
Like,
God damn it.
Like, what you want him to swap it out for Mr. Crowley because Ozzy happened to die 2 weeks ago? What the fuck?
Nah, that's just someone who disappeared completely up their own ass, and there's no helping them. You're just gonna have to.
It was a truly baffling sentence to read. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Hey,
has science and computers gone too far? Maybe.
Okay, so Wendy and the hybrids arrive at the crash site, and I only figured out what this was on the rewatch. It was just something that went right past me. But Wendy can hear the xenomorphs immediately, on arriving at the crash site, and of course we know later she becomes the xenomorph whisperer.
Yes, she does.
Okay, so
she's exactly like Chris Pratt in the Jurassic World movies.
She right down to the hand gesture.
Yep.
But stop, bad Xeno. But like in my first watch, I thought that her being able to hear the xenomorphs was a result of them asking her to mimic them later because she heard them with her ears, and then something about like getting her to mimic them opened the door to her being able to understand them. But it seems like there's something else going on there. Like, why can she alone hear the xenomorphs from the jump? And I don't feel like that's something that was ever they ever even tried to explain.
They didn't.
No, they definitely did not explain that, and I think that was like pretty intentional from, and it didn't seem intentional while I was watching the show through the first time. I thought, well, that's a bit of weird, sloppy writing, not a big deal. But I also, and I haven't mentioned this, like I also went into this show assuming like, okay, it's going to be a 8 or 10 or, 10 episode, show about aliens on Earth. I had exactly
what it's called.
I had exactly zero expectation just because of the way TV works these days. I had no expectation that it had any thought of being an ongoing series because simply people don't do big, giant ongoing series anymore.
Yeah.
Like even,
absolutely,
everything's either an anthology like Noah Hawley's Fargo show where, there are some kind of themes that pop across and like maybe you'll see a little cameo by one character or another, but it's 5 completely different fucking stories.
Yeah.
So I had no expectation that this show was going to end going like, aren't you excited for season 2? And I think that I am assuming that she can hear the aliens from fucking Jump Street and we never talk about it is going to be some bit of plot in season 2.
Yeah.
It really does make her the super special girl though, because she has a lot of abilities that the others just don't seem to have.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's weird.
Yeah, she is absolutely the Superman of the hybrids. Like I kept expecting, and we did see a little of it with the red-haired girl.
Yeah,
Nibs. In episode 7.
Nibs is a little rage monkey.
Yeah, she goes pretty hard. In episode 7, when they're getting to the boat, we see a little of her being like super strong and like fast and stuff, but it's nowhere near the level of shit that we see Wendy do.
Well, it's another thing, like, and part of the thing that sparked this whole episode was Colin asking, do guns hurt aliens or not?
Yeah, exactly.
And the answer is when it serves the plot. Are these hybrids strong or not? Because sometimes they can lift crates above their heads, and then sometimes 2 of them struggle to carry a 180-pound man.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah, there is a lot of inconsistency, and I don't know. It's really interesting when placed up against Noah Hawley's previous sci-fi TV show, Legion, which I really liked that show a lot.
Same.
That show was also pretty inconsistent with stuff, but that was the nature of the show and the character.
Yeah, it was a fucking crazy show.
It was built around, well, yeah, David doesn't have the slightest idea if what he is experiencing is reality from one moment to the next. Like, inconsistency is built into the concept. Yeah. This one, it just comes across as a little sloppy and maybe lazy.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yep. It seems it's one of those things where you're like, somebody should have caught that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
Sorry, I'm rushing us, but we need to push on to episode 3. Wow, what an episode! Those guys really know their shit. Thank you for listening to the first half of the Alien Earth recap. If you want to find Colin, you can find him at astronomicapodcast.com. He plays Mackie on the Astronomica podcast, and he's fucking hilarious doing it. I highly recommend you check it out. You can find Josh and I at patreon.com/hightechlowlife, where we definitely owe some content, and we will be getting on ASAP as soon as real life gets slower. Also, we are on Blue Sky, and we have an email, hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com. Now, at the end of the next episode, you're going to hear me say it's hightechlowlife@gmail.com. Ignore that. That's wrong. I'm correcting in advance so that I don't have to edit that portion later. It's hightechlowlifepodcast.com. Wait for it. You'll hear me say it wrong, and you could be like, hey, told me. Fucking idiot. Okay. I'm going to sign us out with a quote from episode 2. It is the Babadook. She says, "We ended death. Now we have to make their quality of life better. Otherwise, all we've done is make consumers immortal." Bye.
This has been the High Tech Low Life podcast. Find us on Blue Sky at High Tech Low Life. Email us at hightechlowlifepodcast@gmail.com and find us on Patreon at patreon.com/hightechlowlife. Theme music by Nihilor at nihilor.com. Thank you for listening.
Keep it moving. Come on, what are you waiting on? Let's go. They're trashing our rights, man. They're trashing the fluid data. They're trashing. Everybody, hide the planet. Shut up and get in the car.